Dale Earnhardt Jr. currently sits second in the championship standings and has a virtual lock on a seat in that 10-race tournament. Earnhardt Jr. will compete here today, just 1 week after suffering second-degree burns in a fiery crash on the road course in Sonoma, California. Pre-race practice, driving a Corvette. Earnhardt loses control and crashes. You'll see the fuel spill out of the back. It is ignited by the hot components beneath the car. Earnhardt in the car for a moment, then did manage to get out and was helped away by the track safety team. The details on what happened then and what happens now from Matt Yoakum.
Bill, earlier this morning, Dale Jr.'s mom, Brenda, wrapped his burns. Jr. just arrived at driver intros. First off, Dale, how do you feel?
I feel pretty good. We've been really doing the best we can to take care of everything every day and just watch after the best you can. And it hurts, but it could be a whole lot worse.
You're going to start the number 8 car today. How long will you be able to drive?
I'll be able to go to the caution, the first caution, and we don't want to lose a lot of laps on the track and want to get Martin in the car as soon as we can too, because he's been really good this weekend and he's got a shot with a race-winning car, and we want to get him in there as soon as we can, because then that puts us right back in the back of the pack again. So we want to do that as soon as we can, but hope that first caution will come kind of early for us.
Your mom, Brenda, has played a big role this weekend.
Yeah, she's stepped up to the plate. Every time she's just like every other mother out there. Every time I've been sick or anything, she's been right there. But she just, we got to wrap these wounds every day, and she's took some of the toughest criticism that I could dish out, and some of the most vocal language I've ever spit out of my mouth before, and took it in stride. And she's been there every minute. She's helped me out get through this weekend.
Will try to make the best of a bad situation. He's called on not only his friend, but the young man who's the points leader in the NASCAR Busch Series, who drives his Chance 2 car, and he's standing by with Dave Burns.
And no, Matt, you are not seeing double. This is Martin Truex Jr., and Martin, of course, making his first attempt in a Nextel Cup race. There's always a little pressure for that, but you've got to drive the red number 8. Are you ready for what they've asked you to do?
Yeah, I think so. We've had a pretty good weekend in the car. I felt real comfortable. Tony Jr. and them guys have done a really good job making me, feel at home and everything. So just got to thank them for the opportunity, and hopefully we can get in there quick and help get Junior some points for that championship.
Well, no other driver has ever driven the number 8 Budweiser Chevy in race conditions. Today, that's going to change.
Now just getting to the finish could be a challenge for the 8 bunch today. As you've heard, they plan to try and make the difficult driver change as early as possible. Dave, the 8 guys want to get Earnhardt out and Truex in. How's the Bud crew going to do it?
Well, the best case scenario for him, Bill, is that the caution flag will come out and the field will slow down. At that time, Junior and everybody else, by the way, will come down pit road. Junior will immediately begin loosening his shoulder harnesses, and then while he's still moving, he'll pop the release on his straps, and surgical tubing is attached to him. They'll spring load away. Then when he stops in his pit box, his crew will jump in both windows. He will take the steering wheel off and get out of the car. As he's doing so, the crew will help him get out. His knees are still the most sensitive part for him. Martin Truex will jump in, today played by Wally Dallenbach. The crew will go in through the window to try to help put the harnesses on. Wally, what's the hardest part about that?
Well, David, I've got my helmet and my head and neck restraint. I can't see the belt, so I'm no help.
So the crew is doing everything. They'll try to buckle him in. Remember, they got a minute 15 to do this as the pace car circles under caution and not lose a lap. The crew puts the window net up. NASCAR will make sure that he's belted and that the window net is fastened before they will let him go. Now, if he goes back out, he has to put on the fresh air hose in his radio. They can come back in, make another stop, and also service the car, Bill. But it doesn't always work out that way.
Yeah, Dave, that's the perfect scenario under caution. What if they have to do it under green?
30-second laps, these cars will be going under green, and at that time, they'll have to get everything done the first time, and that would be the worst-case scenario for them.
All right, Dave, well done, and thank Wally for us, too.
Benny and Wally, Dale Earnhardt Jr., he's got a tough task today. He's going to start the car, obviously in a great deal of discomfort. They're going to put his team, a rookie, behind the wheel to relieve drive.
Yeah.
What will be a good day for them? What do they want to accomplish today?
Well, I spoke with Tony Jr. today, and this is just a bonus. They've got a guy that came up here earlier, tested both the 15 and the 8 cars, got a lot of laps here, and he's running really well. So they just feel the way the new point system is, they really dodged a bullet on this one, and they're just looking for a good finish, and even a good finish is a top 20 finish. They're just looking to come out of here with a decent run and lose the least amount of points as possible.
Junior trying to go to the front. He's trying to take the 33rd spot, 32nd spot away from Sterling Marlin.
Remember, he started back in 43rd.
Dave, has he said anything to the crew about how he feels inside the car?
He has said nothing, BP, quiet on the radio, but as Martin Truex Jr. stands by, keep this in mind. One reason why they like Martin coming into the car, he fits. The driver's compartment is a very personal space to work in, and Martin Truex is the same size as Dale Earnhardt Jr. No adjustments will be needed to the seats, no adjustments will be needed to the belts. When he gets in, they can clamp him in and go.
Don't forget, every car and every spot that Earnhardt Jr. could get, that buys him time on pit lane, because you're going to have to come in the pit. If the yellow comes out, you want to be up as far as you can. Those are seconds. If you come in at the end of the line, that pace car's got a long ways, or not so far to go around and get you lapped. So he's trying to get to the field and trying to get, to the middle of the field would be great. If the yellow came out, then he's not the last guy.
The minute and a half that you and Dave talked about on the Dave Discovers with the driver change is the time it takes the pace car to make a lap.
Right.
But if you're 25 seconds behind the pace car, that minute and a half becomes a minute 5 to make the change before you get lapped.
There's one uncomfortable man in that 8 car right now, I believe.
You think so, huh?
And the thing is, he may not even be bothering him so much now, but when he gets out of that race car, after about 5 or 10 minutes, he's going to really start feeling it. Probably the worst thing in the world is burns. Very, very uncomfortable. The last thing you want to do, get in a hot race car.
Checking on Dale Jr. He's in 30th place now. Remember, he started 43rd.
But these guys, Davey's got to go pretty quickly because the leaders are in the same straightaway to put Junior a lap down.
And they don't want to lose that lap now. They were afraid they'd lose it during the driver change, so he's trying to pick it up as much as he can. Really hasn't said anything to his crew. They fully believe that they can make the driver change and possibly win this race with Martin Truex. They've talked of nothing else. Nothing about failure, nothing about doing it wrong. They've been very confident about what Junior can do here, and so far they're on plan.
And Dave, it would have been better, though, if they could have got a caution before they started putting these cars lap down. Then even if he got a lap down, he would have been the lucky dog, and then Truex could have come back and got on the same lap. But now it's going to be tougher if it stays green, because he's going to lose more than a lap.
So many what-ifs in this racing
game.
You stand here, what if all day, What if this race goes 100 laps without a caution? Can Junior stay in the car? It's happened here in New Hampshire before, where we went the longest time at the beginning of a race with no yellow flag. Dave?
And now that's what I wanted to talk about earlier. They think he can go based on how he was feeling and how his wounds are healing, that he could do a full fuel run, which, as you mentioned, is between 85 and 95 laps.
They're hoping that it doesn't come to that. As you see, Martin Truex Jr. still suited up and waiting to get in relief of Dale Jr. But if it does, he's got to make the call. And just go back for a second and also just establish why Earnhardt Jr. doesn't want to run the full race today. He probably feels he's physically capable of it today, but he would pay for it tomorrow, the day after, and in ensuing weeks.
Yeah, there's no question. And the thing about burns you got to be careful is the infection. If you get an infection in a burn, then instead of a 2-week or 3-week process, you're talking about a 2 or 3 month process for those, burns to heal. So you don't want to push it.
And that's why when Dale Earnhardt Jr. spoke here on Friday, he said, I probably could, I feel like I could, but I don't want to take a chance on getting an infection and then really having a problem going on through the summer.
Yeah, I talked to him Friday morning about it. I said, man, just let these things heal, trust me, because if it gets infected or it gets worse, you're really going to be sorry.
Come out and through the field for a second to show you Ryan Newman about to put a lap on Dale Earnhardt Jr.
And Junior is racing as hard as he can right now to stay in front of that 12 car. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it.
I don't think so, BP. 12 cars on a rail right now. Going to try to make the pass on the outside.
Yeah, you got to be careful when you stick the nose in there on the outside off the corner. You might get it white.
Yeah, you have to be at the door, if you're going to make that pass. Got to have your nose at their door.
Ryan Newman has led every lap so far. Dale Earnhardt Jr. running in 30th place after starting 43rd. Hoping for a caution flag to stay on the lead lap and make the driver change. How about the leader, Bill?
And one thing, Ryan just said he's picked up a little vibration. They think it might be the right rear tire, so watch for that.
Well, he's not giving up any ground.
It's gotten a little bit worse, but it's maintaining right now. 10-4.
Vibration in the right rear. Is that mean it puncture, or could it be?
My guess is that he ran a high line someplace, picked up a little bit of rubber up there, and it stayed on there, stuck to the tire, and threw it out of balance would be a guess.
He wants to pass him. He doesn't want to hit him.
That's a difficult thing at this racetrack. Very, very narrow. It's hard to make a path. Dave.
And Wally Jr. is fighting. His spotter even told him he's there, and Jr. still through the block.
Oh, you see the back end of Junior's car hop off the corner there?
He's been doing that a lot, especially off of turn 2.
And in the traffic, Michael Waltrip has closed up on Ryan Newman, and Jamie McMurray has closed up on Waltrip.
And that 9 car is not very far behind McMurray.
And Junior's watching that mirror like a hawk.
Oh, yes.
He wants to know where that 12 car is. He does not want to give him an opening.
More on the 12, Bill?
Getting a little worse. Matt Borland just told Ryan Newman in that 12 car, we're ready for you if you need to come in at any time. Our window doesn't open for 20 laps.
Ryan tried to use that very flat bottom lane on the racetrack to inside of Junior. In turn 3, he got a nose on him here.
He's there.
There he is. And there he goes.
Okay, so Junior goes a lap down. As long as he can stay the first car 1 lap down, that'll help.
That'll help. And in this position here, if the caution flag comes out, he has an entire lap. If he had been right in front of the 12th car, he'd been the last car of 40 cars in front of him. So I don't know if he could have made that driver change. In this situation here, he might be able to do it.
And so some of the other cars in that top 5 that got bottled up behind Ryan Newman. Well, he tried to pass Junior, now trying to make their way through the lap traffic also.
Well, the lucky dog will be.
First, we give up the lucky dog, don't we?
Yes, sir, Junior, you are a lucky
Just
dog
stay out there
today.
till we figure out what's going on. We'll be fine. Just kind of get caught up here and let's see what happens.
And what they're referring to, if you're new to NASCAR,
Wow, center off. It's like spins right up off. That way, it's got, I don't know, it just don't, it's loose in, it won't turn in the middle, it won't roll through the center. If it rolls through the center, it don't turn off. Not enough gear.
when NASCAR ended the practice of racing back to the caution, they put in a rule to allow the first car not on the lead lap at a caution flag to get back around the pace car and basically make up the lap. So Junior is in that position.
If you put it on the left, on that flat part, getting in and coming off, it gets loose off. If you put it on the flat, put the left foot down there, it gets loose out against the wall, but it pushes it all the way through the center, all the way off. Hey guys, don't worry about it. That's we're gonna come in, Dale Jr. Don't come in first time by. Wait second time by. We're gonna get you out, then we're gonna come in and do our tires. Clark.
Cannot cast it after that.
Fine, Clark, get Dale Jr. out. Y'all have the can. Bill, you're doing it. Where's Craig? Craig, your catch can. Just do the normal deal we've been doing all week.
All right. Remember, they said you got to take tires your first time in. You can't take them after that. Or that's fuel, sorry.
Well, they've got a lot of officials down there at that 8 pit, don't they, to make sure they do everything right?
Dale Earnhardt Jr. has just been waved around the pace car, so he'll now come back onto the lead lap, then come around and make his pit stop.
And now he'll probably try to get those belts
Where's
loose.
that pace car at?
Get everything unplugged
Go ahead and catch up, Junior.
before he stops.
Safety truck up there watching.
Don't get all you can there, Dale Jr., because I got to have all that time.
So you see him right there? He's loosening the belts up. Okay, now that helps when the next guy gets in. Those belts, if they're tight when the next guy gets in, it's really hard to get them buckled. Now we'll probably unlatch it before he gets stopped as well. Need to unplug everything, get everything you can unattached to you so you can get out quick. Don't forget, he's sore, so he's not going to be getting out too fast.
He might need to make another lap because, all right, here he comes.
If he makes another lap, then they can't add fuel to the car, so he's got to come in here, Benny.
Come on, you're 10 away here, DJ, right in front of the 41. Come on in here. Come on, right here.
All right, Dave, go ahead.
Here they go. The three guys going in the car on the other side. Jay Guarneri hopped in through the window. B. Hoover will jump in, and help Martin Truex jump in, but Big Jeff Clark is now helping Junior out of the car. He's the gas man, helps Junior get out. Gas man for the team, Bill Snyder, will fuel the car. You heard him discussing the understanding of the lucky dog rule. They must fuel now because they can't come in later and do it. Now Truex is in the car. They will try to buckle him in. Again, the team helping him, and Martin trying to do what he can, but Guarnieri on the other side doing most of the buckling. Window net and belts have to be tightened. Are the NASCAR officials looking in the car, making sure that he is safe to re-enter the speedway? They say that he is. They don't stand before him, and he leaves. They beat the pace car out.
Man, the crowd is loving all this drama on pit road with a driver change.
So, now, if he got everything attached, he'll stay out. But if he needs to come in, he's got some time. Make sure everything is connected, especially the radio.
I'm sure he'll come back in.
Yeah.
He'll come back in to take their tires. Dave?
That's right. They can put tires back on, but they can't refuel. That was not to give too much of an advantage to the lucky dog.
So Dale Jr. getting a breath as Martin Truex Jr. is now back into the number 8 car.
And you see, he doesn't have gloves on because it's so much easier to put the belts on. He'll put the gloves on before he starts back there.
BP, those gloves are in the car. They're stuffed underneath the front seat for Martin. As soon as he has the belts tightened, he will put them on.
All right.
And he didn't even have the belts tight yet. I mean, he had them connected, but there you go. He's straightening the wheel out.
Chaos.
I mean, that's tough when you're trying to do all that stuff and not
Don't feed.
get a lap down.
Don't feed. You're good.
Now he'll tighten those belts up once he gets, caught up.
And again, because he was at the end of the pack, they had so much less time to work with. You see, they just barely beat the pace car out again.
Go, so get on around there.
The crowd reaction when they hoisted Junior out of that car was huge.
That is awesome.
Doesn't matter what racetrack you go to, he is popular. So now it falls on the shoulders of 24-year-old Martin Truex Jr. to get what kind of a finish he can out of the day for the Budweiser team, and what kind of points he can score for Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the championship. If you're new to NASCAR, the driver that starts the race earns all the championship points on the day, regardless of whether he gets a relief driver or not. So Martin Truex Jr. is in the 8 car, running last on the lead lap in 29th place. Had a little moment a couple of laps ago as he has tried to get acclimated to how that machine is driving.
Trying to get alongside the 49 car of Ken Schrader, and comes off the corner. Some contact between the two, and wow. That's almost as good a job as Matt Kenseth did in the 17 earlier in the race.
Dave, all clear right there. All clear.
Wow. Could hear the tires squealing, even over the race engine. Dave?
That's been part of what Junior's been doing down here. Got himself seated in front of a television now, watching Martin Truex Jr. drive the 8 around the track. He had a brief conversation with Tony Eury Jr. about the car. He was also receiving lots of congratulations, gentle pats on the back from his teammates. And also Dr. Scott McNair, team physician for Hendrick Motorsports, came by just to see if he could offer any assistance to Junior. None was given.
Okay, so Truex Jr. out there again working on Dave Blaney, this would be, for 28th place. Blaney in the 30.
Got to be patient here, Benny.
Yes.
I mean, you're in a good race car. You just got to be patient. You don't have to try to impress anybody. He gets around this place good. He qualified great.
And we got 225 laps to go. I mean, this race is not going to be over in the next 15 minutes.
With Dale Earnhardt Jr., who has climbed out of the number 8. First of all, how do you feel?
Ain't many people I'd let drive my car. Martin's one of them, and luckily he was available this weekend. The car is not that good. I think the car might be worse than I am. It's real loose in and real tight through the middle. Wouldn't turn in the middle at all, and hopefully we can work on it and get it a lot better and get a pretty good finish. We was real good all weekend in practice with Martin in the car, and I know we can get a good run. We just got to get the car a lot better. I was doing okay. You know, the car just wasn't as good as I thought it'd be or it had been all weekend, and just ain't no fun getting out, I'm going to tell you that. But because I like running here, we run okay here, but Martin's going to do a good job for me, so it'll be okay.
How do your injuries feel, and how they feel over the course of that run, Junior?
My injuries just really hurt bad, but it's hard. It's like it's a pain I ain't never felt before. But I was in a burn center or 2 burn centers, and I seen some people in there a lot worse off than I was, and made me really appreciate how lucky I was to be able to get out of there with just a little burns I got on my legs, but just ain't good enough to drive a car here all day long, and hopefully next weekend we will be.
You heard the confidence in his voice about Martin Truex Jr. They will probably take him away from here, as the team told me earlier, change the dressings on his bandages to avoid the infection, make sure that he gets plenty of rest, and possibly be in the race next week at Pocono.
And just joining us today for Dale Earnhardt Jr. here in New Hampshire. Driver introductions earlier with the bandaged burns, and then the effort to get into the cramped quarters of the Budweiser Chevy.
Very tender, as you can see. It's hard to bend when you have burns.
Earnhardt Jr. starting the race, of course, so he accumulates the championship points. He was overtaken by leader Ryan Newman and put a lap down. Then trouble. This happened at lap 60. Ricky Craven tangling with Jimmy Johnson and Elliott Sadler, allowing the Budweiser team the chance to get Earnhardt Jr. out of the car and put Martin Truex Jr. in.
And Truex quickly gets in the car, gets the belt, and did not lose a lap.
You heard Dale Earnhardt Jr. talk earlier about how the car was not very good. Martin Truex has been driving it for the last number of laps. He reports it's really tight. He's hanging in there. Matt?
Got into his left rear.
Back in New Hampshire International Speedway, caution has just come out. Martin Truex Jr. is into the wall in turn 1.
That's not what they were hoping for today.
Excuse me, left rear.
He was falling back and had some contact with Jimmy Johnson a couple of laps ago. And you can see he's got some damage and some flat tires on the left side of that car.
No, I drove right in the left rear.
It sounds like he hit someone else in the left rear, and he's trying to avoid hitting them and spun himself out. Let's see. I think we have a replay. There we go.
Or he got hit in the left rear, I think is more like it.
Yeah, that would be correct.
Ken Schrader.
See if we can get a better angle here of what happened. They're just going for the same real estate. Yeah. That's all there is to it. I mean, you know, you're wanting to be in the center of the corner there. Schrader's down low. His car's going to slide up a little bit, but the 8 car's going to want to get down to the center.
Exactly. They want to go. They both fight for the same exact spot. And
right.
Once again, as long as we have racing, we're going to have wrecks exactly like that. On board with Kenny Schrader.
And it doesn't take much. No. I mean, you're already on the edge when you're in the corner, so it doesn't take much to get the car turned around when you make contact.
On board with Truex, and listen.
See, that wasn't much contact.
That was pretty good contact there, unfortunately.
Yeah, and the caution came out before these guys who skipped pitting on the last couple of times had to come in under green. And just to pay off the story on the 8 car and Martin Truex Jr., remember, he got in for Dale Earnhardt Jr. They made the driver change under caution at lap number 59. And ended up getting involved in an incident and spun around, lost a couple of laps. He's back now in 32nd place. It's not going to turn out to be the kind of day points-wise that the team wanted. But under the present championship system, it doesn't hurt them as badly as it might if this were a year ago.
No, that's right, because they only got to qualify in the top 10, and right now they're solidly in the top 10, but they can't stand 2 or 3 more races like this. They might slip back, but right now they're okay.
This is Ricky Craven at lap number 59 as he got in trouble racing with Jimmy Johnson from 11th position. That allowed Dale Earnhardt Jr. to get out of his Budweiser car and Martin Truex Jr. to get in. They completed the driver change without losing a lap allowing Junior some extra recuperation time from the burns he suffered a week ago. Lap 141, though, things would go kind of sour for the 8 team on the day.
He makes contact with Ken Schrader, and bam, in the outside retaining wall. He will continue the 8 car.
Lost a lap, was penalized a lap, and continues on in the race. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is going to get credit for 31st place points with the shared effort between he and Martin Truex Jr. So not the day they were hoping for, hoping to get a top 20, maybe a top 15. Didn't work out that way.